I was born to buy and sell real estate. It's the ultimate game, and no one can stop me from winning.
I hustle my ass off. That's how I'm going to go from being an underdog to taking over.
I work smarter, not harder. My life's expensive, but I'm worth it.
This is what I think it's worth.
No other agent does what I do, including you.
Three, two, one.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. This is the Me and Ree series where we're reviewing $1 Million Listing Miami, and this is Season 1, Episode 2. I'm on video this week. It's more of a podcast, so I'm not going to be looking at the viewers, but welcome to the show. We're going to be reviewing Episode 2 of $1 Million Listing Miami. It's a great show. If you haven't watched it, check out the $1 Million Listing series. There's Los Angeles, New York, and Miami. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. It's going to be kind of a short episode today. Just watched it. We're going to have a new episode every Thursday afternoon. There's a phone number you can call. Also, look in the description, and you can go to the website and submit questions and call, and you can be on the show and everything else. As we grow, kind of building a community here, $1 Million Listing. I'm going to be reaching out to folks that are fans of $1 Million Listing. So if you enjoy the show, leave a like, leave a comment, and get involved. Let's talk about it, see what you think. Miami is not my favorite $1 Million Listing show. I've already kind of gotten out of the... I'm just kind of disappointed in it, honestly. It's like a joke of real estate.
Do you feel that way?
I feel that way because all it's been so far is boobs. And yeah, you can say it's Miami real estate, and that's what Miami is. It's the party city. It's whatever. There's still a level of class in real estate that maybe this is more for just TV thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, there is.
Look at New
Yes, there
York.
is.
Okay, they're not going around topless bikini contests.
Yeah.
I know it's Miami. It's different. But it's almost like it's classless. Even with the real estate agents.
New York could take it that way. They have Broadway. They have different things that's everywhere.
Right.
They could take it that way. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed.
And I don't want to hate on Sam, but Sam's going to catch some flack this week, and we'll tell you why in a little bit. Let me just tell you what happens in the show. We start off, we see Sam, and of course it switches. There's 3 brokers, if anybody doesn't know. There's 3 brokers that this show follows. They're selling millions of dollars of real estate, and so it switches segments, and you see, and then by the end, you see if they sell the house or whatever. So we start out with Sam, who is the one female real estate agent, and she's selling the Trump Tower Suite in Sunny Isles with Gil Desert's his property. He's a developer, and the price is way too high, $8.9 million. She said when she took the listing, it was more worth like $7 million, and Gil said he wanted 8.9, and she said, I'll give you 8.9 and I'll sell it in 30 days. Which was her biggest mistake.
First mistake.
And of course, you know more about this than I do because you're in real estate. You don't overpromise. Because when you do that, you end up making people unhappy, and that's...
Let me stop you there, because having sold real estate, like I have, her first mistake was not explaining to him at the point. I don't care who he is.
Right,
doesn't
when
matter.
they first met.
You could put $15 million on it. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You
matter.
could take the listing.
Right.
It's going to make you look silly as a realtor. Sitting there with that property and it doing nothing, and what she got were comments from every realtor. I love the property. It's okay. But the pricing's ridiculous. So when you're that much over, it's making you look bad, not the client. And if she had gone in there and said, look, this property is not worth it. There are no comps. There's nothing, even though it's a penthouse, whatever. You know, I will put it on the market for the price that you want because I want the listing. I'm not crazy. And somebody may drop out of the sky that'll pay you that. I'm not saying that's going to be the norm here. And give me 30 days or 45 or whatever it is, and let me see if I can sell it, and we'll see. That's what I would have done. Right. I would not have gone in there and said, okay, I will price it at 8.9 and I will sell it in 30 days.
Yeah.
She put herself in a crack for one thing. It's making her look dumb, exactly what Chris said.
Right.
Or Chad. One of them said, it's going to make you look bad, which it did.
Right.
And another thing, and I want her to do well because she is the only woman that has been on any of these shows. I've been around a lot of women in real estate. It's an unspoken...
Now I know what you're about to say about this, yeah.
It's an unspoken... It's not a rule. It's just an unspoken
level of
of business.
Yeah.
When you are a woman, you have to
be professional.
do it above reproach.
Right.
Yeah, you don't go in there. Everybody I saw, the Stacy,
Oh my goodness!
looked like the biggest airhead I've ever seen, and supposedly she has a real estate license. I'm not sure she did.
Stacy is co-listing the property.
Yeah,
with
it was
Chad.
pathetic, and she has her chest sticking out, and poked up there, and everything was that. And even the realtor that
Looks
Rachel
pathetic.
went to lunch with Sam that one time, and she's sitting there with her shirt like, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a woman, I know what it is, and there are times I guess you can use it with men. If you're sitting in a bar somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where. All my dealings in business, and I dealt with people from Atlanta all the time. You don't do that.
Big time real estate.
You don't wear those tight dresses.
Right.
It just says something about you, and it takes the level of professionalism of you down a notch. I don't
Right.
care if it's Miami. I don't care where it is.
Right.
They walking around in these high shoes, and they can barely walk in them, and these little skimpy dresses, and it's just sad looking.
Well, I'm going to tell you my opinion, and of course I don't know anything about real estate as much as you, at least. Just as much as I've been watching the show. When I saw Sam for the first time, she came across as she thought she was the best. Number one, she knew it all. She's got her own company. I work for me. I'm the best. I mean, she was quoting. She said, I work all the time. I'm the hardest worker you'll ever meet. Everybody says it. But then she goes and does this. And she also says she's only been in real estate for
3 years?
a very short amount of time. I don't know if it
think.
was 3 or not, but it was a short amount of time. And it showed, because it was like, for me, and I don't even know real estate that well. I mean, you do. That's why you went off on her just a second ago. I got the impression, and I don't know anything about it, that she was being an amateur. By coming in there over-promising, it doesn't matter what business you're in. If I go in and tell somebody that social media is going to change their life,
That's right.
You're going to make millions of dollars using social media, and over-promise that, and then have to come back and say, well, things didn't work out the way they were supposed to, or this, could have done this a little bit better. What she did was made the biggest mistake, because did you hear what Gil said at the end? Chris, Sam first went to Chris on the show, and she said, how's he going to react when I tell him I want to withdraw from the listing? She wanted to withdraw because it's at $8.9 million. It's way overpriced. It's ridiculous.
It's wasting her time.
Way overpriced, and she wanted to withdraw, which is a good thing to do. Chris said, well, he'll respect you for that. But what Gil said was that you didn't do your job. Who did you bring in here? I didn't need you for local buyers, And he looked in. That wasn't the problem.
No.
Right?
Right.
Problem was the price. And her co-lister sat there.
Yeah.
And till the end of the episode, and she said, Gil, just bowing down to Gil.
Oh, yeah.
Gil, I'm going to sell this property. You can not even reduce it, and I'll sell it. Give me another week, and I'll sell it.
Yeah.
And don't even reduce the price. I'll sell it for $8.9 million. She's crazy. She don't know what she's talking about. Coming from a co-lister that's never sold a single property.
Yeah. That's the most
They
ridiculous
said
thing
that
I've
her
ever seen.
co-lister, Sam's co-lister, the one that promised to sell it in a week for $8.9 million, had never sold a property before. So how could she say that?
Well, I thought that was a good comment he made. Where were the people
She said
now
you were
that
working
you're bringing
on it
in
too.
next week? He said you're bringing them in next week. She said, I'll bring them next
Yeah,
week.
Sam said, where did
And
they
he's-
just magically
yeah,
appear? And Gil said,
I mean,
they just magically
it's
appear.
crazy. I mean, he's not an idiot.
What is she talking
And
about?
she's making herself look stupid. And then at the end of the show, it says he still had it at 8.9. He's dropped it to 8.5.
Right, at
I'm
the
going to
end,
tell
they
you
gave
right
a little
now,
update, and they
it
said,
will end
yeah,
up
it's dropped from
selling
8.9
for
to
7
8.5.
something. It'll sell at 7.5, 7.2, somewhere in there. It'll eventually get down there because he's going to sit on it. Yeah. He will sit on it. And that's what sellers don't understand. When you go in, everybody that you go in and analyze their home and say, what do you think my house will sell for? They always think it's worth more than it is. Always. And it's always a lot more. And I tried to tell people, yes, I know we all think we've all got a lot of personal investment in our homes. We think they're a lot better than everybody else's, or for whatever reason, I think mine's better than yours down the street. But you waste your own time. You waste your realtor's time. You put that house on the market for that. You waste the... it's sort of like the same scenario of you only get one time to make a first impression. You can't go back and do it again. When that house comes on the market, everybody goes after it.
Yeah.
Because if they're looking for certain houses or whatever, and if it's overpriced, it just ruins it. Because if you ever drop the price, people go, no, I don't want to go back to that one. So you ruin your chances of that initial on the market.
Sam did know that. That's why she left.
But she should have told him that up front and said, okay, I will list it for you.
When she first got the listing, she said in her little interview, she didn't tell Gil, but she said this house is worth $7 million.
But I would have set myself up.
Do that.
I would have said to him, look, I will list it for you for 8.9.
I know she wanted to get her business.
Yeah, and I understand
Gil,
that, but she was cutting her nose off to spite her face, because she should have set it up where he would go back and say, you did tell me it was not going to sell for this. Yep. And then she could have said, yeah, I'm not crazy. I want to take the listing. Somebody may drop out of the sky. Yeah, I mean, I'm not I'm not a magician.
Yeah.
But odds are you're not going to get anybody. Right. But I will go ahead and put it out there, and I'll try to do the best I can for you.
I thought it was pathetic, and then her co-lister sitting there at the end of the episode.
That girl doesn't have a brain in her head.
Things that just...
She doesn't know what she's doing. She's crazy.
That's like telling you're going to grow a tree in the middle of the sky or something. It's like, what are you talking about?
And let me tell you right now,
Gil thought she was pathetic.
Was not taking her seriously at all. Not at all.
It's terrible. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
Especially on TV.
Tell you, what's embarrassing to me is, and it makes me mad. I'm sorry. I haven't been this way about any of the other ones.
No.
It makes women look stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. We're not stupid.
Right.
I sold a buku of real estate, and I had the most respect. And I worked all the time. It's a 24-hour business. It's tough. It's a tough business.
Yeah.
And I did it during some times when women were not that prevalent in real estate. It was mostly men. And so it's a whole different ballgame out there. But you try to be professional. You don't put your boobs out there so that's part of the deal. It's ridiculous. I just makes me sick because it makes women look stupid.
Well, while we're on the topic, Chad's girlfriend, Jen.
Okay, I don't mean to be so critical about
Chad.
all the women in Miami, but she's pathetic looking.
Well, your opinion is going to be different than mine. God.
I mean, it's like she sits there with her mouth open square, and I just want to slap her.
Chad,
I'm sorry.
I like Chad. Chad's cool.
He seems to be okay.
I think Chad's the only normal one on the show.
I think so too.
Chris is okay. He's a little bit out there, a little bit crazy.
A little
bit flamboyant. That's okay.
Yeah.
Not my type.
Right.
But Chad, I like Chad. He's calm. He's cool. He's sold the most. He's got class.
He's very businesslike.
Right.
I like the businesslike. I don't like the
professional
stuff. See, and
Chad.
that's the thing about Chris I don't care for.
Right.
Oh, I love your hat.
Well, look at the numbers.
Oh, I love your hat.
Look at the numbers.
That kind of thing.
Chad's most professional, right? He has the most class. He sold the most real estate.
Well, I mean, I just don't like.
He sold $80 million in 1 year.
Okay, I don't like the boobs hanging out with the women and looking stupid.
Well,
and I don't like with Chris. I don't care for the fact he's always, when he went to get that listing, wanted that co-listing with Sonata. I love your hat. Well, I can't stand that. I just can't stand that. Real estate is a business. It's
trying
not.
To seduce
it's
your
not
client or your co-lister.
Yeah, and I guess I looked at it as a business, and that's why.
What do you do? And the majority do. This is
and
the
I loved
TV.
It. And I
just don't want to see $1 million listing going away from the.
Me either.
Normal.
Me either. Now, I don't know Miami. I lived in Miami.
It's very extravagant.
I was down there on business for a month, and I stayed. And it's not my favorite place by any means. That's just not me. But I do like the caliber, and I guarantee they could find people down there with the caliber that New York has and that California has.
I just hope they're not doing this for TV.
Me too, because it's going to ruin the whole $1 million series to me.
At least this one.
I'm very disappointed. I want to see Sam. I would like to see Sam wear some jackets sometimes, and pants. You don't have to look like Hillary Clinton, but you can look decent. But I want her to look professional. She's walking around knock kneed in those shoes she can't hardly walk in with tight dresses.
Yeah,
it just drops your credibility. It just does. I don't care if it's Miami or Atlanta or New York. It drops. You notice.
Well, she made a big mistake too.
Well, you notice how the guys in New York talk about always wearing a suit, always looking nice, always whatever. And I just think
it's like disappointing, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's kind of. I'm getting where I'm not interested.
Now you have to deal with
because
this,
I like the real estate end of it. I'm not interested in the bikinis and that.
Like it was like
and
a
that
joke.
Open house that Chad had with those dancers or whatever they were. That was just disgusting.
What about that?
Disgusting. And I can't believe that all of Miami is that level.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me to believe that. I bet if I called one of the offices I know down there if I called them and I said, "Is this way y'all do real estate in Miami?" They would go, "Oh no, this is a joke for TV."
Right.
I don't like it. I'm not really interested in
interested
continuing
in
to watch it.
I think a lot of their viewer base is not interested in that.
It's just not the same thing.
I think a lot of the people that watch the show, I don't think they're going to like that. It's like us, you know.
I mean, I like added personal things. I like
for the most part, Los Angeles and New York are very realistic.
Yeah.
You know, seems to be.
I just, I'm sorry. I'm just not
it's kinda
really, I
frustrating.
don't mean to be.
It's like small time, you know? It's like,
I don't care for it. It's just not my favorite.
Well, let's run through the rest. And that's all pretty much we need to say because, you know, of course, we get through with the Sam segment. And then Chad, he's working out. He talks about his car wreck. And then we meet Jen, his girlfriend, again. She's picking out his clothes for him. I wasn't impressed with Jen, and I thought Chad would have somebody with more intelligence like Amelia from New York. She's a little bit more on the ball. I'm not hating on Jen. Probably wouldn't say that to Jen's face either. I'm a very nice person. But, yeah, it's just have some class.
It just seems to
doesn't matter where you live in. If I'm in Miami, I'm not going to be partying with boobs hanging out.
No.
You know?
And they're already talking about next week bringing in bikini contest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Let me be a judge.
I
And
can't
don't sell
believe they do real
with
estate like
bikini
this.
contests.
I just can't believe they sell real estate
It's
like
kinda
this all the
ridiculous,
time in
isn't it?
Miami.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's like a circus.
Yeah, and then Chris goes to the polo club. He starts trying to seduce his co-lister. See, I hate that.
But he's gay.
He's gay, but
He's
he's
not
trying to
seducing her.
trying to put the you know, make her feel good and suck up a little bit, which okay, I mean, that's all right. And so they co-list the property she agrees to. And then it switches to Chad. He's listing the mansion on the water. Highways across from it. We're at his open house with the Babylicious Fest.
Oh, gosh.
Is what they call it. Sam comes in, and Chad starts to argue that the women are a creative strategy.
Oh, God.
And he takes all the people at the open house to an after party at his co-lister. Also,
Nightclub,
employees'
that's right.
husband's nightclub.
That's exactly where they went. Yeah.
Which was kind of different. I don't know what I think about it. I thought that was kind of cool. Something different.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, that's fine.
People that come to the
That
open
part's
house go to the
fine.
nightclub. I don't know how that does anything for the house, but it's impressive.
Well, it's just learning them personally.
Okay.
People tend to work with people
So they
more
go to
when
the
they know them
nightclub.
personally. Yeah, know a little personal something about them.
And Stacy's husband, who Stacy looks like she's like 40-something, and Eric's like 70-something. Which, hey,
We know what that one is.
they're down with it. They're down with it.
We
That's
know
what
what
it
that
is.
one
And
is.
so Eric seals the deal. He says, Eric pulls Chad aside. He says, you need to seal the deal and make this happen. Intimidates Chad's a little bit. Then we go to Chris, who's listing a property in Boca Raton. Is that right?
Yeah.
45 miles north of Miami. Campion is the owner of the property. And the first thing Chris says is, man, look at that tub.
He is into bathtubs, isn't he?
Chris
He's
likes
into
the bathtubs.
Yeah.
And so had a nice big tub. This place had $2 million in renovations.
That's true.
Chris says the property is worth $20 million. This was interesting. I've never seen a co-lister and the, well, I guess both the co-listers so far off on a price. You know, in real estate, you base things off of the comps, right, in the area. So how do you go from one person saying it's worth $13.2 million and Chris says it's worth $20 million? You can't justify that. It doesn't matter if you say they've never seen something like this.
No, that was what he was going to try to
It's
sell.
not
though.
$7.5
You can't
difference.
upsell
There's
that
no
much.
way.
You can't upsell.
There's just
that
no
much.
way.
No.
So they agree to do $13.5 million and they list it, and then it switches back to Chad, who's doing the private tours on Palm Island. And he's getting a lot of people that's saying the price is a little too high on that. And he says that the inventory in Palm Island is low, so I can do whatever I want. Which is true. If the inventory is low, people want to live there.
It's a
you
good
know.
selling point.
Yeah.
As a realtor.
Somebody actually said that to him, so that was interesting. And then he had Chris and Sam, who were outside. They go kangooing. That's what it's called, kangooing.
Yeah, those.
Man, Sam's hanging out once
I don't know what
again.
you call
We've
that.
got Sam just
Well,
letting it all hang. And hey, you know, I'm not for that, but if it's on TV and she thinks he's going to sell real estate, then have at it. Chris says it's overpriced, her property, and he encourages her to pull out the listing, and she's afraid to because Gil's going to be upset. So Chad gets an offer, and they go back and forth. The guy offers like really low price, $3.2 million for a 3.9 listing. Chad says that the other houses are not available on Palm Island, so they go back and forth, and he finally gets him up to about $3.55 million, and with a 15-day closing, 25% escrow. So extra perks there. So they close the house eventually, and let's see what else happens. Chris and his co-lister there to be continued with the bikini contest on their property. And then Sam, it ends the episode with Sam calling, or goes and meets with Gil, and they get she gets a co-lister to go with her. They go back and forth about what they should do next. Should they go approach Gil and withdraw? And of course, she said they broke a friendship because they couldn't agree. Which that co-lister of hers was just
shallow.
How could you never?
She was very shallow.
I just thought, how can you say that when you've never sold a property?
That girl probably, if you go back, and I met people like this all the time.
It's pathetic.
If you go back 6 months from now, she's probably not selling real estate.
Right, she's in some other,
She won't be able to do it. She doesn't know what she's doing. And
she has no idea.
She doesn't care.
And she thinks she's something. So apparently, she has a lot of contacts. That's what Sam
she may
says.
have that, but that's still not going to do anything. No.
So, anyways, we end up with Chad. He presents the $3.5 million offer to Stacy and Eric. Eric gets mad, and finally, Chad convinces Eric that the house needs work and that Stacy needs to take the offer, so they do that. The last thing I have here is Sam going to meet with Gil. Sam and the co-lister go, and Sam says it's worth it. I can list it and sell it at about $7.9 million, and Gil says, "Well, I can give it away for myself. I don't need you to do that." And of course he says Sam didn't bring the customer and didn't bring any customers, and the co-lister promises that she'll sell it without a price reduction. Who's never sold a house before. Of course, Sam withdraws from the listing, and she says she doesn't feel confident in the price. So she loses $111,000 in commission, and she's already spent $25,000 on an open house party. So she goes out pretty depressed, and of course the price says it was eventually lowered to $8.5 million, and that it's still on the market. So
it'll sit there. They'll keep reducing
Gil is
it.
just one of those people that
They'll keep reducing it.
just those.
And if they want to
people.
sit there and hold it, hey, fine. But then sometimes it never works out. Right. Once you continue to hold it at a high price, when it goes down, people forget it. They don't go back.
That's right.
So you miss your opportunities a lot of times. But if he's a businessman, I would think he understood that.
Yep.
And if not, the realtor should be saying that to her. This is the way it's going to work. But that's the way it goes.
I was disappointed. I'm not really enjoying it. I kind of had to force myself to watch this
it's
one.
not as much fun as the other ones. It's just not. I guess my
it's trashy.
the credibility of it is not good to
It's like
me.
I'm watching Jersey Shore.
Yeah, a little
sell
bit. That's it. And I'm just
and I
not.
know Miami's like that, but I don't think that the majority of real estate in Miami is.
No, I'm sure they could have found somebody that does it legitimately,
Right.
and decently.
Yeah.
That that would not have to result to taking girls with no clothes on to open houses. That's just
to get attention.
demeaning to me. That's demeaning.
A little bit.
I shouldn't have to sell real estate that way as a woman, and I don't agree with it.
Well, you never did, so
you
did really well. So I don't know. It's just kind of discouraging, and maybe you feel the same way. Leave us a comment. Let us know. We're kind of starting to build a community
I'd kind of
here.
like to know. I'd like to know as a woman, are there any women out there that feel the same way I do, or am I way off base?
No, I guarantee there are people that feel that way, and of course the show's going to get a lot more interesting, entertaining when people start getting involved. It's very new. We just started doing this, so we're going to be promoting it a little bit.
That's true.
So get involved. If you watch the show, let us know what you think. Follow it every week with us, and we'll talk about it, get you on the show, and we'll have a nice long discussion. And I guess that's it. Don't really have an outro for the show yet. We're still working on that, but this has been Mac. We don't normally leave you with a good quote. It's always talking, and what do we say? It's always great talking with me and Ree.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Yeah, tomorrow is 4th of July. And
have a safe one. Have a happy one.
Yep. And do we have a quote for the day? It's a good quote for the
Let's
day.
see.
Wrap the show on up with, there's a good one.
Yeah.
Why don't we be so happy that when others look at you, they become happy too?
Yeah. That's a good positive quote.
We got to stop with the cheesy quotes.
I like that. I like them. I like them. I like anything that is positive.
It needs to be something funny.
All right, well, we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
That's it, folks. Until next time, we'll see you again next Thursday afternoon. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Let us know. Leave a comment. And tweet us at the Mac Media Show. We're always there. Let us know.
Have a good day.
See you later.